Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning up.
And I'm wearing a mask today just because I'm getting
Got
COVID
bad
behind
breath.
me. So, and it hides my rugged good looks, I know, but what can I say? Okay, minutes and reports received and filed.
We have none today.
Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports, upcoming meetings.
This afternoon, I've got a meeting with a University of Missouri student doing, did y'all get a request for us, how it affected the flooding in Jefferson
Oh,
City?
we've all-
You've all done that?
Eric met with them, I'm meeting with
Okay.
them.
Well, I responded with a couple of times and dates, but didn't hear back. So what time are you meeting?
2 o'clock, she said it might be a little after, so we'll be up here.
Okay.
So I might holler at you if you're around.
Yes.
If she wants to talk to you, so. Okay. Got the East Side Business Association barbecue this afternoon. And Friday night, there's a kickoff for Lincoln University's homecoming at Courtyard
Yep.
at 6 p.m. You probably swing by there for a while, and then they've got their parade Saturday morning, homecoming game Saturday afternoon, and their events. I think that's about it.
Okay, you've touched on a few of mine. In addition, on Wednesday, I have a meeting in Ashland with the Mid-Mo Regional Planning Commission.
Okay. Now, this morning I did the chamber board meeting by Zoom. Tomorrow I have a Central Workforce Development Board meeting. I'm gonna do that by Zoom. Friday is Leadership Forum, that's the reception. Saturday, you're riding in the parade as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Harry and I are gonna be riding in it too, so that's all I've got. Any commission comments? Resolutions. Presentation of resolution to Jeff Haldeman of the News Tribune. Sir. I guess we can take that county stamp off you now where you're part of our inventory. Okay. Whereas Jeff Haldeman will be leaving the Jefferson City News Tribune after 16 years to take on a new endeavor in the communications office of Missouri Chamber of Commerce. And whereas Jeff was recognized with several awards from Missouri Press Association, Kansas City Press Club, and Associated Press during his time at the newspaper. And whereas he served as a reporter covering the Cole County Circuit Court for 3 years following the passing of Bob the Bulldog Watson in August 2019. And whereas prior to his job at the News Tribune, Jeff worked at KLIK Cat Country Radio from 1996 to 2003, doing news and play-by-play for high school basketball. He then went to KRCG TV from 2003 to 2006, where he was the assignment editor. And whereas, as the only child, Jeff's parents, Roy and Darlene Haldeman, were both born and raised in Central Missouri. And whereas, Jeff is a lifelong sports fan and claims allegiance to several teams, including the Odessa Bulldogs, the Central Missouri State Mules, Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Royals, St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Cardinals, and Springfield Cardinals. He is also a proud shareholder in the Green Bay Packers. At least there's no Dallas on there. Whereas, Jeff is well known for his love of the rib sandwiches and Seinfeld. Whereas, when not at work, Jeff enjoys traveling and being with his friends, following the advice of his late parents who told him before their passing, do it while you can. Now therefore be it resolved that the people of Cole County do hereby thank and commend Jeff Haldeman for his years of fair coverage of Cole County government news. We wish him well in his future endeavors, for we will truly miss him. That, we mean that. Thank you. Yeah.
She's on the
Wait.
Oh, sorry. Did you get it?
Yeah.
I held my breath.
Okay. She's got one more, she said.
Good.
Yeah, and I wanted for coverage, and I want to make sure we invite you back for Festivus.
Fest. I heard that maybe the Porch Fest might be called Porch Festival.
Oh, there you go.
Real quick, I did want to say.
I've been waiting. Now?
No. I did want to say though, I wanted to mention, you mentioned Pee Wee the other day. I go back to covering the county commission back when it was in the basement of the old courthouse, so I go back a long way. But he always told me, he said, I will never get the first time you came in wearing whatever jersey I had on. And he looked so young, he said, I thought you were a high school kid coming in to, do something. He said, hi, young man, what school are you from? I said, well, I'm with the local radio station. I'm here to cover this meeting. And he never forgot that. Never heard that he told me that. So, anyway, thank you all. Thanks to all the people that I've worked with over the years. Appreciate all that you've done to help me. Thank you.
Jeff, thank you.
Porch Festivus, I like that.
Okay. Bids and contracts, the Stryker equipment lease agreement.
Yep, that's me.
I've got it. Christina said she'd be here. Eric passed it on, there are a number of things. Debbie got the insurance information. I had to sign a council page. And Sam, see all these tabs? That's for you.
Do I initial them too?
No, just sign.
Go ahead.
Let me get the exact language here, I hope. I'll make a motion to sign the Stryker agreement, their master agreement, rental schedule to the master agreement, the Exhibit A, insurance authorization, state and government rider, opinion of council, and the addendum.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, sir.
Bid award and contract signing of 2022-25 food service program.
We bid out the inmate food service program for the sheriff's department. We had 2 vendors submit a response, Tiger Correctional Services and Trinity Group. Trinity Group gave us 2 different menu options. Option 2 is about $6,000 cheaper than option 1, and the difference is just the menu rotation. Our recommendation is to award 2022-25 to Trinity Group Services with option 2 for the projected yearly cost of $430,536.48. And I do have a contract as well to sign. Nope, it's the same one.
Sure.
Wheeler.
Whoa, my God, broke the lamp.
I'm fine. I agree with Jessica.
I don't have any questions about it. We go through this every year. So.
Yeah.
I really don't have a serious question, but just curious question is,
Sir?
how many meals do you get for $431,000?
So the meals are based on, it's an approximate.
Right.
It's based on the amount of individuals we have. Right now, the meal, the amount we pay for our meals are gonna go up because right now we have 172 inmates. So, and then we have 15 in Montauk. So as the amount goes down, then the price goes down.
Right.
Your
So
average
it's
was
really, there's really
170.
no set, I mean, there is set in there, if you look, it's this many, is this how many cents, and this many.
It was figured on 176, I believe, right?
Yes.
So that's what it looks like.
So
Do you have
100
that bid sheet?
I don't have it in front of me, just, but 176 times 365 days is sort of, I mean, the high side of the number of meals,
3 meals per day.
times 3. That's
Yep.
right, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so, and then I mean, if you.
No,
look
no, no,
monthly-
just
if you look
curious.
at your monthly profile that I just sent out, it shows there how many meals that we served through August, into August. I
Okay.
can't remember how many that is, but it's,
And you have always proclaimed that no one leaves the jail at a lower weight that they came in
that is
at?
true to this day. We weigh them when they come in, we weigh them when they go out, and nobody loses weight.
Okay.
At 176, it looks like it's about $2.23 per meal. So,
Okay. I'll make a motion to agree to the bid award and do the contract signing for option 2 with food service program.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you need nothing from me, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. Peace to y'all.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Okay. Approval and signing of MOD HSS for Wise Woman Program Agreement.
Hello.
morning.
This is just a small contract letter for us to help clients participate in the healthy support options as part of our Show Me Healthy Women program, but it's a separate line item for $1,000.
Okay, you good?
Mhm.
All right, make a motion to sign the Wise Woman Program Agreement Letter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Discussion of Health Department driveway project.
I think Eric might have got a phone call. So, as you know, we have this crisis co-ed contract from DHSS, and it does expire in March. And we applied to be able to use the money for a generator. I don't know if you guys remember that, and we couldn't get the generator in time. So the next project that we had on our list was to make a second egress to our parking lot to put another driveway in. So we had pretty much got preliminary indication from DHSS that CDC was not going to approve it. And then last week while I was at the conference in Columbia, CDC sent an email saying they were going to approve it. We still have some justification to submit, but CDC is saying yes now. We did get some word from DHSS yesterday, or late Friday, that their procurement office is still looking at it. But CDC has said yes, so we're kind of waiting for that final approval from DHSS, and our contact has been pushing up procurement, so I went ahead and sent an email to one of the division directors yesterday to try to push from the other direction also, to try to get it approved, because the money does have to be spent by March 15th of 2023. So Eric has been working hard to try to help us along to try to use this contract.
And I appreciate that immensely.
Me too.
So back roughly 6 months ago, when this first kind of started coming up, I threw together a quick estimate of what it might cost. Made some assumptions, so it's completely based on assumptions. The amount on that was $146,000. That's with some contingencies. It assumed that we, Public Works, would actually do the design and inspection, which on this tight timeframe, we cannot do that. And so what I did after hearing on Friday, I reached out to Engineering Surveys and Services, and they could put together a team to do that project, do the design work, and have plans ready to bid within 4 weeks. That would be the target timeline. And that cost, and I do have an agreement prepared, and that's the next item on the agenda, that cost is $19,000, which tracks along fairly decent with what I would expect percentage-wise based on a total construction cost. And this would do the full design, do the survey and design, also coordinate any driveway permit items with the city, any other items that would be needed with the city. The project that I estimated included taking that kind of that ugly ditch and putting that, extending that pipe up and putting that all in a pipe, which would partly be needed anyway to do the driveway based on where I assumed it would be. So this project, the timeframe, March 15th timeframe is extremely tight. But if we can make some decisions quick and get the ball rolling on this, we can get it done. It will have to be in concrete. It would be time of year to do the work. We couldn't do asphalt, which is fine. That doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. And concrete work can be done over the winter. Like I said, there's a lot of little things we got to do to make sure we can get it done by March 15th. The primary thing is getting the funding approved from the state, which
If CDC says yes, I'm hopeful that DHSS will also say yes. Because they're really just the pass-through agency.
Was the pipeline an issue there at all?
there is, I don't know if there's a pipeline, there's a utility there somewhere.
Yeah, there is a pipeline.
Yeah. What, do you remember which one it is? Is it like a gas?
It's gas.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they come in occasionally and inspect it, look at all.
Does it run through?
Mhm.
Okay. That's odd that there's a ditch there too. We would just have to work around that. You can
Okay.
get permits to go put something over top of the pipeline. We have that on projects regularly, so we would just have to work through that. And that would be part of the process of getting it designed.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity here. We were talking about doing that driveway with ARPA money even. So if we can get them paying for it and. I
Or
think-
at least the majority. I mean, the contract's $119,000, $382, so it might not pay for all of it, but at least the majority.
I tried to estimate high, knowing things were a little volatile, and so I think the number's okay, but even with that, the way prices come in lately and on the tight time frame that we'd have to bid it, it's a little bit of a gamble on what kind of price we're gonna get. But it's work during a time of year that some contractors aren't as busy, so we may get some decent bids. It might be good filler work for a local contractor to do.
I guess your employees there would park, I mean, this is the way they'd go in and out for the most part?
It probably depends which direction they're coming from, but yeah, I'd say that we would use it a lot, and we think it'll increase safety. I mean, if we
Well-
ever have a fire or anything, and even the fire trucks, they come up, they're getting their flu shots this week, so, you know, they have issues turning around in our parking lot, and if we ever wanted to do drive-through events, drive-through flu clinics, any of that stuff, you know, it's gonna help our clients, it's gonna help the traffic flow a lot, because the driveway up into the parking lot right now is pretty narrow.
Right. I thought it would cut down on the potential interaction of pedestrian going from their vehicle to the building, because there won't be as much cross-traffic coming across the lot to go park to the
Right.
west. Okay.
And the location I show this on the aerial map does not have to be the final location. That will kind of be fleshed out through the design process to get
The right slope and
the right,
everything,
right greater slope in there, so it's not.
Right.
That could be a little bit steep right in that location, but that was the closest, easiest way to get it done. But like I said, it could be anywhere.
I'm fine with going forward. I guess I'd make it just contingent upon, at this point, if there's a hiccup and it doesn't happen, do we want to be committed to doing this without the,
Well, if you guys sign this today, they're gonna start like today or tomorrow.
well,
But that's just the design.
That's the
Yeah.
design side of it.
So even if we got the design, but the rest of the contract fell through and you wanted to wait for ARPA money, at least we'd have the design done.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's something
Well-
that needs to be done anyway.
And I'm just wondering too, you know, with the bus stop, if we could maybe petition the city to maybe have
To go
the city
through.
bus come up and stop there and then go on back out, because that would make it a lot easier for some of your clients to have access to the health department.
We could ask.
I'm good with it, absolutely.
I'll make a motion. Let's do this one first. I'll make a motion to approve the study, yeah, the study, right, the engineering, the engineering.
Agreement for professional engineering services.
Agreement for professional engineering services with
Engineering
ESS,
surveys and services.
and that's in the amount of 19,000. That's my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's the approval of engineering agreement.
That's it. That's just what we did.
Yeah, do we need it again down in new business? Discussion of health department driveway project?
No, I think we're good. I think once is
I'm like,
fine.
gosh, we got you on there 3 times.
I know.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, and as soon as
Eric, thank you, because I,
Just to pass through, so it's.
well, I know. Okay. Approval and signing of proposal for new courthouse key system.
Morning.
This was originally brought up by Judge Beadham and his staff. 3 or 4 weeks ago, we met, went over everything Judge Beadham wanted, along with his bails, marshals and stuff. We put together this proposal with Kevin from Tyler's Lock and Key. We went through all the doors in the building, actually 3 or 4 times, to make sure, A, we didn't have to change the whole door lock, and we could just change out the center core. Around 3 doors that we had to change the locks, so that you'll see that on the proposal. Judge is on board with what we've come up with. The bailiffs are on board with what we've come up with. The only thing I do not know, and Judge and I talked about this, when we do this key system, we sign a key out to an employee. We need to make some kind of insurance that we get the key back by either making them sign a key policy. Say if we don't get the key back, we're gonna hold you to, say, $200 or $150, $100, whatever you all set the amount at, to make sure we get the keys back. We do this policy, they cannot take this key that we give them to anywhere else other than Tyler's to make a new key if they try to make a new key or try to replace it or whatever. There will be limitations on who can make the keys for the building, just like we have at Pringer, just like over at the jail. It's limited to who can make keys for the buildings. Like at the juvenile center, there's myself, Toby, Matt, and then the commissioners are the only ones allowed to make keys for that building. It'd be the same way for the courthouse. Well, not Toby and Matt, but it'll be Judge Beadham and the marshal, and myself. That way it limits who can make keys, so not everybody can just go say, hey, I need a new key, or I want more keys, or whatever for this door. The keys will all be in a lock cabinet. The master key for every door will be in a lock cabinet in a marshal's office, with them having the key to that cabinet. If a new key needs to get made, like I said, they can pull the master out, say for $300, go up to Tyler and say, I need a new key cut for this door. They will have to sign a piece of paper up there saying the key was made for this door, date it, and sign it. We looked at also trying to do a key bob system over there. There's too many doors that swing the bar style in and out both directions. There's 13 or 14 doors that we looked at that swing in both ways. So that's really not an option on some of the doors to do. And then some of the doors are double doors. Even if you try to put a strike on, what's the chance that you'll line up and latch? Other than that, that's pretty well. I don't know if you all have any more other questions. The only thing that's not on this bid is the lock cabinet for $255, and the keys are $18 a piece.
You satisfied most of my, or maybe all of my concerns in a discussion we had, but to get into the building, this is not an issue at all, because right now we have the card system and
Card system,
and
correctly.
the pad, so that stays in place.
Correct.
This is just to get into the individual offices within the
Correct.
building.
With inside the building.
So a
Yes.
person, for example, who works on the third floor, they already have their card to get in. They'll have a key to get in their office, and then
Correct.
only their office.
Correct.
Okay. I think at some point we do need to have a key policy, that an unreturned key is some kind of a expense on the last check or
Probably
something.
should have it for all of our buildings. I mean,
well, maybe so.
How many employees leave that we don't know if we got the keys back for this building, Carnegie's? The health department's all badges now, so that's not a big deal there. Even, Pringer, if somebody leaves that has a key, a master key, I don't know. We just need to keep an eye, we need to do a key policy for that.
Well, not only just for people leaving, but if you lose your key.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got a $87 cylinder and $18 a key, and, depending on how many keys, you can be at $200 real quick, so
Yeah.
I think that was the number you just threw out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we need to go about the key policy on that, and maybe we start over there with the new system, and then we may have to work, because, we've got keys to get into the commission office and into our own offices. If we lose those, we gotta replace the lock there too, so.
And keep in mind, they're state workers, not county workers, so it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a policy that we can.
Well, then the state should be buying these keys.
Actually,
Second.
when somebody doesn't turn in their equipment or uniform, they get a visit from the sheriff's deputy.
Okay. Well, I was kind of surprised at the total cost, but I don't know where we have a option here. There's some safety here by having it, only one place can reproduce those keys, and only certain people can get them copied.
Right.
Well, do you have your key ring that you have just to
I'm
get
a-
around at the courthouse?
No, I don't have 64 keys on my
You
hip
need to
right
carry that
now.
with you, that's how we know when you're coming, because we can hear it jingling.
Yeah,
from
and
the-
that's
so-
good. That's the other thing, it'll save time for my morning guy. Trying to go through 64 keys to find a door for 302 or 300. Granted, we've kind of got them marked by floor, but still trying to go through is, and I agree with the
That
marshals.
addresses
yeah.
county policy, county employees.
With, the marshal having to carry, they've got 18 keys on them right now. It's kind of, this building, I think, when it first opened, I think was set up on a key system, but I don't think it's that way anymore.
We have a key policy, but it only applies to county employees, so.
We could tweak it with a cost for not returning property, but there is one that makes provision for keys.
Well, it's a little harder to enforce when we don't pay those people.
Right, we couldn't enforce it against the
Yeah,
city.
okay. Thank you. So,
But we could probably work with the judge and see if we can get some kind of a policy in.
In place.
Get a
Well, and the
court
state might
order.
actually have
Yeah.
a policy that we can,
Yeah, it is a substantial amount, but there's, what, 59?
But that,
Yeah, 59 locks in there, so
Yeah.
it's gonna add up, but we really need to do something with that.
And it is, in a sense, expandable if there ever should be a addition to that building.
yes, it is. The key cabinet is expandable. That system we're going to use is expandable. I think it's expandable up to 800 or 900 key cores, so we're good. That's why I looked at this also, going this route. Debbie, the only thing that's not on that proposal is a key cabinet for $255, and then, like I said, it's $18 per key. So I was figuring maybe 100 keys, but I don't know exactly how many employees. Kevin said it'd be 4 to 6 weeks to get the cores and stuff in. This is already October, so we're looking at December, probably at the earliest to get started. Jeff did bring up, do we want to start this now, they're putting it in now, or do we want to wait till January when everybody takes over? To me, it makes more sense to put it in December and activate it in January, when everybody is taking, the new people are been sworn in, taken over, people have been hired, and everything else. Unless you want to do it sooner.
No, I think that makes sense.
And we're still working on getting that, the access stores and that new software. So maybe we could coordinate that at the same time.
Mhm.
Good?
I'm good.
Yep,
All right,
I'm good.
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal and sign it with Tyler's Lock and Key Service for the courthouse.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And going back to the same discussions we had, Judge Beadham got back to me, he'd been on vacation, but he finally did get pricing on the sound recording equipment for the Division II courts. And total amount is $12,363.74. So, I know we had discussed that we need this, we just didn't have the price, we do have the price now.
Now, it's a sound recording system within the courtroom or
Division II, Judge Green's, yeah,
Were we using ARPA money for that?
capital. We discussed it quite a
Yeah.
while ago.
I remember
Capital.
discussing it, I just didn't remember
Yeah.
where we were at with that. But,
It was approved to get estimate, to get costs.
yeah, and so the Judge Beadham finally got the price, and apparently non-negotiable term for electronic office system requires 50% down. Jennifer tells me that this is a way to cut a check and
Is
issue.
it what?
Is it a co-op?
Is it co-op?
Because,
Because it's over the 12,000.
yeah, sure.
I don't know if Brian's looked at it or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know, Judge Green just got it to me, so,
Let us.
Maybe run that
Okay,
through
run
Brian. I
it,
mean,
yeah.
I'm okay with moving forward with it. We do need to get some
Yeah.
kind of recording system. I think we agreed
Yes.
with that, but I wanted to get all that. And I think Brian was trying to stay out of the meeting because it's his birthday today, so.
is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, him and Harry, we have to remember to check on them on the weekends, birthday week or birthday month, right?
Mhm.
hey, Harry, I was here Sunday doing some stuff, and Harry rode his bicycle up to the courthouse.
We had a place to park it too. Since we
I
have the bike
chained
rack
it, I
out
chained
there.
it to the door, the back door.
So that's where the scratches came from.
No, it's not metal chain, it's covered in plastic.
And he came bounding up the stairs, and he's just got all kinds of energy.
We got a bike too, but it's got a motor on it. A cheat.
Okay,
Is that enough guidance there then, Jessica?
It says it's on a state contract. I'll have to look to make sure.
Is it compatible with all the other systems we have in there too? I mean, that's what I'd be kinda curious
That
about.
would, probably need to ask Brian.
We'll check with Brian.
Yeah. Then I can put it
Okay.
on the agenda for next week.
Sure.
okay. All righty. Unfinished business. New business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
Motion to approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nicholas Teetsart to discuss crisis track.
Nicholas.
Good
It's all
morning,
official.
everyone. It does sound very
Morning.
official. This morning, I just wanted to kind of give you an update as to the progress. This project started as a way to look at in-kind donation hours and equipment hours and give us an ability to track that over our volunteers and make sure that we're tracking that properly so that if we ever do have spiller pay or if we have in-kind donation hours through either disaster response or whatever that may be, that we have a good and accurate tracking. Two of the systems I looked at have damage assessment software included with it, which would give both us and the public the ability to, for public assistance and individual assistance, I should say, give them the ability to report if their home is damaged, business is damaged, or kind of give us the ability to track in, I'll say real time, but of course it's at the pace of whoever reports. This would also give us the ability so that if we have a large event like the tornado in 19, the volunteer groups that come in would have access to this system and be able to do damage tracking on one platform instead of having several sheets that poor Melissa had to decipher all the damage assessments for our GIS mapping. It does include a GIS element and things like that. Originally, I had talked with the hazmat team about funding, and I don't think we're comfortable moving forward with that source just because of the annual recurring costs. And so we'll probably do a little bit more research here and then see if maybe that's something we can add into the budget later or find some way to fund it through grant funding.
How do we track it now? Just pen and paper?
Right. I think a lot of it's spreadsheet, just Excel spreadsheet,
Okay.
which, are accurate, but they have their limitations on everything that can be done
How's city do theirs?
through spreadsheets. Yeah. And I have had a meeting with City Public Works, and we reviewed the system. They're in the process of trying to develop something similar to like what our Public Works has with Cardiograph, and they're still working out the finer points of that. When we discussed how the system might work if they had it, they were at least encouraged that if they and the other city offices were able to use it during disaster, that it might be utilized. But they were not totally sure about day-to-day use. That's where I thought they could probably utilize through work orders and things like that they do. But they're in the process of developing a system, so I think they want to kind of stick with that system.
Okay, because I think we need to work with them on it because they're gonna end up probably funding half of it
Yeah.
if it goes through the EMD budget or the
Right.
emergency management budget. So-
Yeah, I started at Public Works because I thought with the applications, especially for like emergency debris removal and things like that, those two categories usually are the first two to be hit, and they're typically used by Public Works first.
Is that what y'all use, Eric, is just Cartograph now to track that? So is that something that we can just,
Nick, Nick reached out to us and you met with Brian, I believe, and kind of went through what we do with it. And then you had a meeting or a conversation with Cartograph.
Right.
And it wasn't gonna be, it's not really suited for what he really needs, and it was kind of expensive to add that module.
Right. It would have been $200 per licensed user because we're running out of users. And then it would have, they had a startup fee that was around $10,000, which I think they would have waived because some of that included training, and I think you all could help train us. But there was the annual maintenance fee, and I can't remember exactly how much that was, but we would have to share costs with annual maintenance.
SEMA, this was all approved. The data that they're asking for would come with that
Well,
solution that you're talking about.
The system that I've been looking at already has that built in, so you would hit print and it would just put it into the FEMA forms. Cardiograph talked about they could build those forms into it at a cost.
So, I mean, it's not really geared to set up just to do what he's wanting. They'd have to model it and make it work.
Yeah.
what kind of costs were you looking at for the systems that you looked into?
The system, this crisis track system is $3,660 annually. For the rest of the year, it'd be $915. The bright side of this is this system just got bought by Javari, and Javari is a WebEOC client or company. And WebEOC is what the state of Missouri uses, so I'm hoping that at some time the state of Missouri sees the value in this and purchases it for the state so that counties can use. They have not done that at this time, though.
Okay. So you're still looking into it, and
Yeah.
we're not making any decisions today?
No, I don't think we're at that point just quite yet, but we're getting pretty close, I think. Thank you, Eric.
That's all the questions I had, so,
Okay,
cool.
All right, thank you, guys.
All righty, thanks, Nick.
and then I had discussion of Health Department driveway, we're done with that, so,
Can we talk about our doors for a minute?
We have
Yes.
bicycle lanes on that
Yes.
driveway?
So, no. We do have a bike rack though. So I had sent an email about the front doors and kind of the handicap accessibility. So Greg was able to have Brady's come look at it, but we haven't got the quote back yet. But it's kind of serendipitous because this week, All Systems started pulling the wire to add the badging for the other doors for our building. So Chris might be able to speak more to this, but they were kind of talking about those front doors and the difficulty with putting a badge system on them because one of them stays stationary and locks in the top. I think the bottom the bottom lock is broken. So anyway, it's probably good that if we get a quote from Brady's, we have All Systems talk to them to make sure whatever door we put in can work with a badging system. And I even thought, well, maybe we just need to put in like a small window pane and just have one big door, or it's probably a good time to kind of talk about all the possibilities there for locking it and to also make it easy for people in wheelchairs to use, so.
And I asked them if they could put some information together of the door systems. They said they could probably make what we currently have work, but it was going to be difficult, but they wouldn't really know until they got into it. So they're going to go back with their engineer to see of how that design can work properly with our current setup.
Because right now, they even try to, if the one that stays stationary is locked on the top, you can't really pull it, but if someone forgets to flip those, you can pull it open, pretty far. So it's not real secure if that one that stays stationary doesn't get flipped. So with the badging, like right now, our staff go out and lock that one. So they, do all the locks. But with the badging system, it'll lock automatically, but they'll still have to go out and flip the levers in that one door. So we want to put something that's very secure, obviously, and we want it to make it easily accessible for those clients that are in wheelchairs or walkers or things like that, because right now it's not, so just heads up.
Okay, yep, I think that's the time to look at it.
Yeah, it's a good time. And I guess All Systems, they started pulling wire, but they don't have all the parts yet. Some of them, I guess, are back ordered, so they're doing what they can, but it'll kind of be a process with our building that they started yesterday. Yeah.
those are the doors that were there when it was Community Health Center.
Right.
Do they go back as far as Capital Region then?
What
Do
did
we
Brady
know?
say?
Do we
They
know
said they're
what?
like,
Yes, those original doors back to the mid-80s.
Okay, so somewhere down the road, we might need to just look at replacing those.
yeah, and that's what Brady's is gonna give us a quote
They're
for.
giving us the option to put openers on the other two doors, and they're also giving me a quote to replace the doors
Okay,
with new stuff.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
And I see our young lady from Stryker, I apologize. We already approved and signed the agreement with Stryker, so you're welcome to stay, but you're already,
Thank you. I'll just wait until after to catch up with
Okay.
Jill, if that's okay. Thank you.
you're
By
welcome.
the way.
Do we have a closed session?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know, y'all probably got the letter too about the designation of the delegates for the MAC conference. We usually just delegate all the elected officials. We get 10 spots, I think, Cole County. Yeah, 10. So
yep, just,
I don't know if everybody's going or if somebody I have to miss out on it, but.
Usually I'll send an email and ask them if they're going, if they want to be a delegate,
Okay.
if that's okay with you guys. All three of you guys really want to be a delegate.
yeah,
Okay.
Yep, that's all I had.
okay. Motion to go into closed session, please.
Since you said please. Make a motion that pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri, the commission will go into closed session to discuss the following. Personnel issues under section 610.021 subsection 3 and personnel issues under section 610.021 subsection 13.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sam,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Okay.